Todd Duncan attended one of my private CEO forums, and during one of the dinners, he told me about the tragic details of the long struggle that he had recently endured in the darkest, deepest dip of his own personal roller coaster. I asked Todd, how on earth did he find the strength to go on, to get back on the ride? How did he possibly get his motivation back so that he could ride further? He told me what saved him. You see, at age 45, Todd was on top of the world. He was a prominent speaker and author of 12 books and had built a very profitable company, making himself quite wealthy in the process. Not only was his business booming, but his personal life was even more enviable. Todd had married the woman of his dreams. Every time she walked into a room, all heads turned, captivated not only by her dark hair and crystal blue eyes, but because of the palpable wave of hope and possibility that followed her everywhere. Together, they had 2 sons, their mother's pride and joy, and Todd's biggest fans. This was the foursome of a picture that would be the American dream. Excited and ready to expand his empire in new ways, Todd purchased a large company in a related field. All signs suggested that this was going to be a new exciting venture. Combined with the one that he already owned, would be a powerhouse never seen in his industry. Unfortunately, the signs were wrong. What had first appeared to be a great plan quickly unraveled. As a result of some transitional mismanagement, Todd was forced to surrender the newly acquired company in a distressed sale. Along with the word distress came Todd's handing over the keys to the business while still retaining a 7-figure debt and millions of dollars already in losses. Scrambling to recover from that crippling blow, Todd was hit again. When the economy receded, he was quote-unquote encouraged to sell his main company, the one bearing his name, the one he built from nothing with his family at his side. Seeing no other option, Todd did as he was advised and sold the company, negotiating a 5-year equity deal to protect and provide for him and his family. But when the new owners found a way to fire Todd from his own company and still enforce his non-compete clause, despite the agreement, Todd's once unstoppable career came to a screeching halt. Stripped of his business, his income, and the reputation that he had built over several decades, the future looked bleak for Todd. He spent lots of times in courtrooms with little hope or possibility of progress. Yet, as difficult as all that was, nothing could prepare him for what came next. In the middle of professional chaos, Todd's wife was diagnosed with terminal breast cancer. As Todd fought a long, nasty legal battle, the love of his life was home fighting an enemy of a different kind, one that moved quickly and ruthlessly. First her breast, then bone, then liver, and finally brain cancer. Given only 3 months to live, she battled hard. 1 year later, she was gone. I remember the first time Todd told me the details of this story and the precision with which he said every word. I remember swallowing hard, breathing deep, and blinking back tears. My own heart sank under the weight of his struggle and sadness. Sadness I couldn't even begin to imagine. I questioned if I'd even be able to survive it. I wondered if I'd keep getting up after the relentless blows that he had stood against. But Todd did keep getting up. 5 months later, the guys who fired Todd settled. Todd got his company, assets, patents, and trademarks back. He said, "I've been battling, and I mean really battling my way back ever since." I looked at my friend with genuine awe. How did he find the motivation to persevere? Why did he step back onto the battlefield that had just punished him so badly, embarrassed, and beat him so mercilessly? When I finally had the guts to ask him, he paused for a moment, as if he were traveling to a specific moment in his memory, and he was. He was going back to a moment that when he began as a single father. After all the chaos, destruction, and tragedy, 2 things remained: his teenage sons, 2 young men with eyes and spirits as sparkling and as bright as the woman that they had all loved, were looking to him for guidance in his new life. I was instantly the single father of my 2 teenage boys who had just lost their mom, Todd said. I had school tuition to fund, a mortgage to pay, and debt to manage. They needed a father. They were relying on me. They were looking to me for strength. The turning point was when my eldest son, Jonathan, came into my room and found me sitting on the corner of my bed, sobbing. He looked at me while I was breaking down and crying at all my losses and said, "Dad, we need you. You got to do what you teach. You got to keep going. I didn't ask myself what I was going to do or how I was going to do it. I just looked at them both and said to myself, I have to do it for them. They were all the motivation that I needed. Some say that I stepped in to save them, but mostly they stepped in to save me. Todd's words were inspiring. All it took was one look at his powerful who to find the passion that he needed to carry on with hope and possibility. If you are looking for your switch to turn on your passion and unwavering resolve to do what it takes to succeed, despite the dips in your roller coaster ride of life, be sure to take advantage of my gift. I'm giving you a copy of the Entrepreneur Roller Coaster book, which is where the story that I just told you is also shared inside. You can get your copy at darrenhardybook.com, and I hope that it helps switch on your passion to do something extraordinary as well.